In an instant, everything changed. The gymnasium was filled with the noise of chatting students, but within minutes, a heavy silence crashed over them like a hammer. No one could believe what had just happened, or who was standing in front of them. And worst of all, no one expected that an old jacket could cause such a shock. Dude, is that a thrift store jacket? Or did you crawl out of 1984? Laughter echoed off the cafeteria walls, rippling from table to table like a cruel wave. Miles Parker didn't flinch. He never did. At 16, he had learned the hard way how to make himself invisible. Thin, pale, with a quiet voice and slumped shoulders, he was a constant target. But today, they had found a new reason to mock him: his jacket. It draped awkwardly over his narrow frame. Military green, worn down, frayed sleeves. The name tag above the chest had nearly faded to nothing, and a strange red and gold patch clung desperately to the shoulder. He wore it every Friday with the same quiet reverence, and every week someone new laughed at him for it. Bet you found that thing in a dumpster, someone sneered from behind. Smells like mothballs and sadness, Miles. That morning, the school gym buzzed with chatter. The annual Veterans Day assembly was just a formality. Flags, folding chairs, a student choir, and bored teenagers glued to their phones. A few local veterans sat near the stage, but no one was prepared for the final guest speaker. General Eleanor Griggs entered the gym unannounced. Her uniform was immaculate, her medals and 4 stars shining under the gymnasium lights. She was tall, powerful, with striking features and a posture that demanded attention, yet asked for none. She walked like someone who had seen war and come back stronger. The principal stepped forward to greet her, but she barely noticed. Her eyes scanned the crowd, then she stopped. Her gaze locked onto Miles. The moment was electric. She moved through the seated students, past teachers and veterans, until she stood directly in front of him. "Where did you get that jacket?" Her voice was firm, commanding. Miles stood slowly, clearing his throat. "It belonged to my grandfather, Staff Sergeant Roger Parker. He served in Vietnam. He died before I was born." Griggs blinked slowly. Then, her voice softened just enough to shake the air. "That patch, it's from the Recon Lightning Unit. I haven't seen one in years. It was awarded to only a handful of soldiers. Your grandfather, he must have been one of them." She turned to the audience, students who had been laughing minutes ago, now staring wide-eyed. "That patch represents one of the most dangerous recon units of the Vietnam War. During the Battle of Dak II, 32 men went in. Only 6 made it out. They volunteered for missions most refused. Your grandfather? I knew his name. He was a legend. He saved lives. He trained me." Gasps spread across the gym. "I was a private when your grandfather taught me to stay calm under enemy fire," she continued. "He pulled me from a burning vehicle while under heavy fire and refused to evacuate until everyone else was safe. That man is one of the reasons I became a leader. And that jacket, it isn't fashion, it's legacy." Then General Eleanor Griggs did something no one expected. She straightened, brought her hand to her brow, and saluted him. A 4-star general saluting a boy in the cafeteria. Miles trembled. He stood as tall as he could and returned the salute, every muscle in his body shaking. First, the veterans rose to their feet, then the teachers, then the students. The entire gym erupted in applause, not for the general, but for the quiet boy in the jacket. Afterward, as students crowded around, General Griggs leaned in and spoke softly. "We're with pride, Miles. He will be proud of you." From that day forward, no one mocked the jacket. Instead, Miles wore it with his head held high, because now everyone knew what it meant. Sometimes an old jacket is more than just worn fabric. It carries the weight of a story of sacrifice, of honor. If this story touched you, hit like, subscribe, and drop a respect in the comments. Let's remember, behind every frayed thread, there might be a hero worth saluting.